Meanwhile, on Netflix, it's beginning to look a lot like the same old boring baloney. The streaming service releasing a new trailer for the final episodes of its Prince Harry and Meghan docuseries. Turns out these two royal pains aren't finished complaining yet. Watch this.
To see this institutional gaslighting.
I wasn't being thrown to the wolves, I was being fed to the wolves.
They were actively recruiting people to disseminate disinformation.
They were happy to lie to protect my brother. They were never willing to tell the truth to protect us.
Oh no, you poor thing! What lies are the crown fools talking about now? Joining me to discuss, former private secretary and chief of staff to the late Princess Diana, Patrick Jephson, returns. Welcome back, Patrick.
Hi, Kennedy.
Hey, so some people still feel bad for Harry. Most people in this country do not like Meghan Markle at all. What do you chalk those two things up to?
Well, I think there's quite a polarizing effect they have on society, both sides of the Atlantic. Interestingly, the one demographic that Meghan is keeping her popularity at a reasonable level in the UK is with the 18 to 24s. With every other group, it's gone precipitately down, so that she's now the least popular member of the British royal family, except for Prince Andrew, which is not a sign that things are going terribly well. But I think the problem is that they don't seem to be anchored to reality. If my royal boss had come to me and said, "Patrick, they're telling lies about me," well, I would say, well, who's saying what? And what can we do about it? If they're telling lies, you can phone the editor of the newspaper and say, "You've just printed a lie, and you either correct it or we're going to sue the pants off you."
Yes, it's a different threshold than we have in this country, but they seem unable to provide any other content than complaining about these incredibly privileged lives. You know, you talk about private jets and multi-million-dollar estates. They could clearly afford their own security, but they wanted the perks of a job they no longer wanted. So it's getting pretty flimsy. Now, as I watched season 5 of The Crown, a couple things I found remarkable. I think that Prince Harry is a consultant on the show, number one. And number two, I'm wondering what your reaction was seeing Elizabeth Debicki, who played Princess Diana. Do you feel like she embodied the soul of the woman you served for so long?
I thought as the series went on, she got better and better. So that around episode 7, 8, 9, she was really spookily good. I mean, I could blink and think it was my boss. And it was very, very moving, I think, the way she grew into the part. Captured not just the voice and the look, but the mannerisms too. Somebody said, I think in the early episodes, she was mimicking Diana. I think by the end of it, she was acting brilliantly, channeling Diana.
So what did you think about your part in the show where Martin Bashir, then a young journalist, approached Diana's brother, saying that people like you had been compromised and been paid off? Did that really happen, and were you upset about that?
It did really happen, but we didn't discover that it had happened until just last year. A tenacious investigative journalist, Andy Webb, spent years digging through the background to the Bashir-Diana interview, and he turned up some very incriminating information, which brought about an inquiry known as the Dyson Inquiry, which revealed that Bashir had used very underhand methods, including lying about me, forging documents, purporting to show that I was being paid to spy on Diana, and that then, it seems, his misdeeds were covered up by BBC top management. So it was really quite a big scandal, but it only came to light last year, which is weird for me now to see it brought to life on the screen in The Crown.
Yes, and when Diana says, "My Patrick," she's talking about you. Patrick, our Patrick, thank you so much for your time. I always appreciate it.
Good to be with you.
Thank you, dear.